release of Chris Hani's killer from prison is set to be delayed a little longer. The Justice Department says Janusz Walus's release will only be finalized once he's received the necessary medical clearance. On Tuesday, the convicted murderer of SACP leader Chris Hani, Janusz Walus, was stabbed at Kgosimampuru prison, where he's been serving his sentence. There's been outrage and anger regarding the Court decision to grant him parole, with the tripartite alliance partners protesting against it. Our reporter Heidi Giokos is on the story for us and joins me now. Good morning, Heidi. So, as it stands right now, Walus remains in the prison wing of the correctional facility. He will not be released. Was this on agreement by all parties?
Yes, it seems as though there was some kind of agreement with the state attorney and Janusz Walus's legal team. And the reason for this, Mfundo, is because we do understand that he was stabbed on Tuesday and he is receiving medical attention and treatment. What we have been told, though, is that he's not receiving it here at the Kgosimampuru prison, but rather at a Department of Correctional Service facility. We don't know which one at this stage. But details are very sketchy and very thin. We know that yesterday was D-Day. It was day number 10 after that Constitutional Court ruling ruled that he should be released on parole within 10 days. And what we do know at this stage is that yesterday was the D-Day, but because he was stabbed on Tuesday, they would rather want to wait until he is in a better condition and state before they do release him. However, the possibility of the fact that the details are still very sketchy at this stage could be because of the outrage that we have been seeing. So, for example, we have been seeing the Alliance, the SACP, the ANC, a number of political parties, for example, the EFF yesterday, blocking the N1 highway outside the offices of the Chief Justice. And there's been much outrage and disappointment by that decision by the Constitutional Court. So perhaps those details will not be very public because nobody really knows what's going to happen should we know the finer details of the release. But for now, what we do know and what we have been told by the spokesperson of the Minister of Justice, Chris Hani, is that there has been an agreement that he will not be released as yet until he is better.
So I suppose there's not even information around what would happen after he's released, because there's still the whole conversation around whether he would be serving parole in South Africa, would he be deported back to Poland. Did Chris Hani perhaps indicate if there was any legal action that was imminent now pertaining those details?
No, not as yet, Mfundo, but I think what's critical to highlight here is the fact that we have been informed by the Department of Home Affairs that Janusz Walus will not be serving his parole in Poland, where he resides from, where he originally comes from, rather. What we do know is that the Minister of Justice, Ronald Damola, will most likely have to provide the parole conditions around what exactly those parole conditions are going to entail, what it's going to mean, what it's going to be about. But again, I think those details are going to be sketchy because of the outrage that we have been seeing because of that decision by the Constitutional Court. We yesterday got a chance to speak to Madimpo Hani, who is the widow of Chris Hani, and she's still very emotional, and she says it's very difficult for her to understand why the Constitutional Court would rule on the release of him, because she says her husband was killed and murdered in cold blood in the driveway. And she says, you know, as a country, people have still not healed, and also as the wife of Chris Hani, she has still not healed, especially because of the fact that the role that Chris Hani was playing at a very crucial time in our country.
No, it's been very, very difficult for the Hani family. Heidi, we'll leave it there for now.